Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson. Always here to bring you guys another wonderful of the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know we're an entertainment-based podcast show where we talk with actors, singers, directors, filmmakers, cinematographers, you name it, they all end up here. And of course, you guys always know I am always excited to bring you guys my next guest for today. She is a super talented actress, acting coach, and filmmaker. She's got this incredible career, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear more of her story and more of her work. I am very excited to be speaking with her. And she's also director of an award-winning pilot as well. We'll get into that in the show. But until then, everyone, give a super warm welcome to Michelle Tomlinson. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Simone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today. I am super excited to be speaking with you. I appreciate you giving me your time. So thank you.
My honor. Thank you.
Of course. All right, Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question at you. And of course, it's going to be about that award-winning pilot I just mentioned. Can you tell the J Lounge audience not only a little bit about that pilot, but also what began your passion for acting and directing and acting coach?
Whew. How long do you have? We have a few hours for this, right?
Well, unfortunately, no. It's just 30 minutes, but you can do it.
No, acting and, well, to rewind, loop, 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 loop. I was in a play when I was like 6. I think I was like a dancing tree or something in Snow White for the Montezuma Children's traveling theater people thing. They came through northern New Mexico, where I'm from, and I loved it. And I was excited to be a dancing tree. And I couldn't dance. I still can't dance, but I still was the best dancing tree I could possibly be. And that is where really the seed of the idea of acting came, is seeing what was possible with these traveling actors in this theater company. And then in high school, I discovered that the theater program really was not for me. And I fell in love with the video productions program that was headed by this amazing woman, Leslie Duran, over at Los Alamos High School. And we had the freedom in our video productions classes to really, what you would call it now, is create our own content. And we could write and shoot and direct and edit our own thing. If it's a music video, if it's a news piece for this news program, we were all kind of a part of this News 101 over in Albuquerque. We had this freedom to just create and go nuts with creating. And so I took a lot of advantage of that freedom and made a lot of music videos, a lot of little like short video storytelling videos that would show like both sides of situations, political and otherwise. And then college hit. I was in more of the theater program in the college, so I kind of flip-flopped between the two. And so the things that I did in all of my schooling, and then you compound that with all of the bajillion different acting classes and things that I took once I hit LA, and all the different day jobs I had working in all the different facets of the film industry, from casting to I even art department PA work, production assistant work. Gosh, I did so post-production sound work. I did a couple of facilities. I did not do the sound editing, mind you, but worked in 2 different post-production sound facilities. The only 2 jobs I ever got fired from, because I'm just not corporate. And so gluing that all together really created, from an acting perspective, somebody who knew how to handle herself on a set, and somebody who would eventually start making movies and directing and creating. And so everything I've done my entire life has led up to this moment. And when Keith Allen West, he was one of my acting clients, and he started booking acting work, and he sends me this random text one night, "Hey, you ever thought about directing?" And I was like, "Is this you offering me a directing gig?" He said, "Yes." And then Deeply Superficial, which is the spec pilot that Keith hired me to direct, became a real thing very quickly with weekly meetings and forming pre-production, which is something I really geek out on. I love prepping. And then moving into the shooting, we hit a lot of trials. There were definitely a lot of tests that took place during this process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for those, because every time we get some kind of a test or a challenge or whatever, really what lies inside of that is a massive lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that answers your question. The passion, and then deeply superficial.
Ah, yes, I love that though. I love that. I love how something, like a random text, like something like that, and then boom, you're off directing and an award-winning pilot. I just love little random moments because you just never know that these tiny little moments can turn into something big. You just
Really? Yeah.
hey, I'm just gonna just direct, and you put the work out there. Of course, you hope a nice response to it, but when the people receive it like overwhelmingly and they just positive it and they love it, you're just like, wow, this all happened because
Yeah.
of random text.
A random text, and the timing, because it's everything is in such, there's really something to be said about the timing of our lives. And
Yes,
I had already started directing a documentary, and so it was just this kismet of timing and the right person, the right everything, and then the random
exactly.
text. Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Alrighty, going on to the number 2 question, Michelle. As an actress, it seems you have quite the taste for horror films. To name a few. And hey, I love my horror films too, so this is why I gotta ask. What type of, as an actress, what type of stories do you like to tell? And what really fascinates you about the horror gene?
Oh, girl, I love horror. I grew up watching all the great classic slasher flicks of, the Freddys and the Jasons and the whatnots. And I completely fell into the horror. Like, it was not on my radar from an acting perspective, um, until I booked Brain Dead with the epic horror icon Kevin Tenney directing, who is he and his wife, are like family to me. But I had booked that film, and it's really interesting because once you book a horror film, it's like suddenly you just book a lot more horror films. And so
Love
and
it.
so it's just a lot of fun. I love, one of the things I love the most about horror is the practical effects that a lot of horror films still use. And I do love the fact that my arms would smell and taste like maple syrup, because
Yes.
of blood, and that's a real thing. You walk around feeling like a stack of pancakes, so that's fun. And I love the creativity behind it, because there are so many there's just so many things I didn't know that went into the world of making horror films, or that I took for granted, that I got to experience, if not having it done to me, watching on set. Because I'm one of those actors who will be on set just watching other things take place, because I love to learn. And
Woohoo.
horror is just really fascinating. It's a fun way to tell stories, and it's goopy. And
Yes.
indie horror scene has a great many of really truly lovely, creative, sweet people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. First of all, I love the horror gene too. Who doesn't love getting their popcorn, getting a drink, settling up on the couch, and we're finna watch a good old fashioned scary movie? I mean, come on. That was like the cornerstone of my childhood, especially during Halloween time. The
Yeah.
whole 30 days, I watched nothing but horror films. I get it. I get it. There's just something, I don't know, you could just get literally lost in horror films, whether, it can be gory, slasher, however. And as you would mention, the indie horror scene has actually, I feel like it's boomed dramatically over the past few
Yes.
years. and it's brought
Yeah.
on such intelligent scary movies. I love it. It's scary movies that,
Yeah.
that make you think, and I'm like, oh, I'm loving this. I am loving this. So I get it. I get it, Michelle. I do. I am a horror fan. Yes, I get it.
Right on.
uh, Going on to the number 3 question, you also have a documentary out called Edge, which is which is a sort of a passion project for you. Could you tell the J Lounge audience what that documentary is about, and what brought you down to make it?
Edge is really a passion project, and as any passion project, to be completely honest, it scares me to death, because the subject matter is so sacred that I keep really kind of turning it to try to do the best possible job. Edge centers around the importance of preserving Native American languages. My friend James Mountain, we grew up down the street from each other. I was friends with his sister, and over the years, we lost his sister. And as a lot of years went by, I had a crazy vision for a script idea called Elation, and that I reached out to my brilliant friend Lori Bowen to write the script. I don't consider myself a writer. I'm more like this idea chick, but my execution of that idea to the page is lackluster at best. And Lori wrote this incredible script, and I sent it to my friend James to take a read for a lot of reasons. And as James and I were talking, he started talking about the importance of language for Native American languages, and he talked about them dying. Simone, I'm from northern New Mexico. I had never heard of the terms a language being alive in order to have a death. I had no idea that was a thing. I had absolutely no idea that was a thing. Like, I don't think most of us who are non-native understand what the importance of language actually is. I know I really did not. And so as he's talking, I kept saying, James, I think this needs to be a movie. I think this needs to be a documentary. I think that this is a really important message that should be told and shared, because not only for any, native youth to try to learn their language, but as non-native humans, we need to support that.
Right.
We need to stand up and be educated about what it means to support all of our Native American cultures, all indigenous cultures, about their language and their culture. Because when language dies, Simone, so many things follow with it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's the end, that's the end.
Right.
And I don't think that's okay. And
agreed.
It became really important to me really fast, the more I learned about it, to see if I can't utilize my own filmmaking knowledge to assist in creating a documentary where we get to interview some of the most amazing human beings and the most beautiful, awesome, badass people I've ever met in my entire life, about the importance of language and what it does mean if the language dies, and also what are some of the solutions around it. And the very same person who wrote Elation, the vision I had, script, Lori Bowen, became my producing partner for Edge. And she and James and I worked together to craft the bone structure of Edge, and then we just kind of took off with it. And I've had an incredible time directing this project. I want to step carefully, and I want to step with honor and with respect to the indigenous communities on every step of the way. And so that's my mission. And it's scary, it's scary because I don't want to misstep, but I also really am so passionate about helping get a message out there.
Yes.
So yeah, passion project. Oof.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
It's
is.
so good.
I give you total respect for doing this project. We talk about, in the industry, you hear a lot about, stories not being told, voices not being heard, all of that. Well, we have to make sure when we do have these conversations of lifting up these voices and telling these stories, we include Indigenous people as well.
Hell yeah.
I know,
sure.
and I know this is going to be touchy for some people, and I apologize, but I got to be honest. I know some of the reasons why Hollywood doesn't touch Indigenous stories is because in order to tell Indigenous stories, you're gonna have to tell the bloody history as well, and that is
it's a real thing.
It's a part of us. It's a story that America does not like to talk about because they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to talk about how they've stolen pretty much everything from the Indigenous community.
Yes,
and
girl.
I know it's not. I know it's hard for some people, but it is the truth. You really can't tell Indigenous communities' stories without telling the history and the truth. And
that's right. That's exactly right.
And I know, yeah, absolutely.
All of us need to stand up a hell of a lot taller together, just together.
Absolutely.
They were here first. I don't care. I really don't care who gets upset about that because it's still the truth,
It is the truth. And this is why I'm glad that, the Indigenous communities' stories are slowly but surely coming into the forefront, into the mainstream. But you got to do a little bit more. You gotta. I know America doesn't like to do it, but you're gonna have to swallow that truth. It's not gonna go away because you don't want to see it. History books and memories, you can't erase that. It's there. So it's just Oh yeah.
I like you, Simone. I like you a lot. We are singing the same song, girl. It's everything. It's everything. The spirituality, the relationship with it's Indigenous people. I'll just say they were here first, and they're some of the most beautiful and amazing people, and we all bleed, we all hurt, we are all so connected, we are all with each other in this life and on this earth, and the separation of any type of segregation whatsoever is ridiculous, and I just think it's kind of time for it to come to an end.
Amen, girl. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. God, I'm sweating over here. I'm glad this is
preach. I didn't think we were gonna. I didn't think we were gonna take people to church today, but hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm pretty passionate about it. Sorry.
No, that is nothing to be apologizing for. It is great that you're passionate about it, and I honestly wish more people were passionate about it. And who knows? This conversation that we're having right now could honestly spark that passion, ignite that flame in somebody. I hope.
If it ignites a flame in even one person, then we did everything we came together to do today, Simone.
Oh, absolutely. Stamp on that. I completely agree. All right. Continuing on with the interview, going on to the number 4. Name 3 people who influenced your career.
Oh, God. That's not possible, but I'll try.
That's not possible, but I'll try.
3 people, Lord. My parents, because I was raised in a very supportive household, a very use your voice, Michelle household. Can you tell? And I had a lot of my high school teacher, Ms. Diz, Leslie Duran, for the video productions, and I have my college professors when I went to ENMU down in Port Tallis. They were also instrumental, and those, I would say, everybody before I even went to LA, those were my core influences. it was a lot of people showing me how much work things take, but also how much love everything needs. And if you have the love and the desire and the work ethic, you can just go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Love those choices. Yay for the parents. I love hearing supportive parents. It's always the best. And, I love that. I love that. Michelle, going on to the number 5 question. I want to make sure my audience keeps up with you, your work. Where are you on social media?
I'm on the Instagram.
She's on the
I'm on the Facebook. I'm on the Instagram probably a little more than the Facebook. I don't tweet. I don't snap the chat or tick the talk.
Don't blame you.
Yeah. I give it up to the people who do all of those things, because my goodness, I'd rather just be working with the beautiful people I work with and call it good.
Exactly.
All that.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Oh, I agree with you. I highly encourage my audience, make sure you follow Michelle on the Facebook, on the Instagram, and just continue to support her work, because we want to see more of it.
Thank you.
Of course. Going on to the number 6 question. What future projects are you involved with currently that you can dish about to the J Lounge audience?
Ooh. There is a film that, okay, well, let me rewind. Bloop, 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 bloop. My rewind sound. Michael Miller is an actor that I directed in Deeply Superficial. And after we worked together, he said, I like your directing style. Thank you, I said. And he goes, I have a script. Let's read it. And one thing led to another, and I've been hired to direct a feature film called Portalis. And it's really exciting because it started out not being called Portalis. It was about a small town, a lot of small town lives all combined together, including a man with dementia, and how things end up having to come together because of an oncoming, massive storm, like a major tornado, not like a Sharknado. Like this is more of the romantic drama type film. Yeah, it is. And I said, this is like shot in West Texas, but I kept seeing Portales, New Mexico in my head for every single frame I read on these pages. I thought, oh my gosh, dude, what would it be like if we renamed this to Portales? And so we did, and we are poking our noses about the beautiful town of Portales and done some location scouting. We're in the process of capital and all that type of fun stuff before we can roll camera on it. But I'm really excited about it because it's not a film. It's not like anything I've ever done before, acting or directing, and is so slice of life, character rich, wonderfully moving paced film that's really heartwarming, and it's really touching. And I'm really, really grateful to be given the opportunity to direct that. And I have Elation A that I mentioned before that involves quantum physics. I had this vision while I was getting acupuncture many years ago, and while listening to Sigur Rós, which if you haven't, they're Icelandic. They're a really cool band. And I had this crazy vision that I had contacted Lori Bowen about writing the script, of which she did. And so she put the bodies together of this film, and it's very quantum physics, very this world, another world, and another world kind of combined in this battle. And I'll leave that right there. But it's something very futuristic, very trippy, and also incredibly inspiring because it really boils down to a young woman's quest, her massive spiritual quest. And God, I'm covered in goosebumps because I picture there's people I have already in my head to be in this film that would just do such an amazing job with it. But it is a quest-driven, heartfelt movie.
Love it. I love those types of films. And Michelle, make sure you keep us here up to date on it on the J Lounge. I'm talking about when it gets released, everything, because it just sounds like just that type of film that the world definitely needs, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, absolutely. All right, going on to the number seven question, Michelle. I gotta know, with this incredible career that you have, and you know you're acting, you're an acting coach, you're directing, you got all of these incredible projects in the works. How do you manage to navigate being an amazing filmmaker and also being a mom at the same time, and while trying to navigate the pandemic?
You're the first person to ever ask me that question. Thank you. Legit, that's the first. You're the first. Uh, you just do the things, like I'm a single mom, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. My daughter is amazing. She's 5, and one of the biggest things is that my ambition for anything film industry related is not bigger than my daughter.
Ooh, love that.
She comes before everything. So that's kind of my gauge. There's times where I really can't say yes to one of my coaching students, one of my clients, because I'm busy homeschooling my daughter, or we have a thing planned where we're going on a hike. We hike a lot, and so it is really for me about time. How do I manage my time? And sometimes I'm amazing at that, and sometimes I suck at it. And I think it's really important. Yeah, I mean, it's important to like really recognize both of those things, in ourselves. And I can't flip my hair and be like, there's days where like pajama bottoms are on the bottom, and I'm dressed properly from waist up, and there might be a half-eaten protein bar on the table next to me that it takes me 3 hours to get back to. That's just life. But it's so beautiful, like, I don't know. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. The pandemic has hit all of us. There's not a person on the planet that has been unaffected by it. I got somebody right now I care deeply for fighting COVID, and I'm positive he's going to be just fine. But it's such a tricky world right now. There's a lot going on, and I'm just so happy to still be here, and I'm Hope's mom before anything, girl. Like,
I love it.
Everything else just comes second.
I love it. That is incredible. That is amazing. And I know she couldn't be any more proud. Her mom is, a filmmaker going out there and giving, voice to the voiceless and just doing her damn thing. Like, I know she's proud of that.
God, I hope so.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to become a director or filmmaker down the line herself. I really wouldn't be surprised.
2 of us, Simone. Yeah.
She said that's the 2 of us.
She's on it.
Love it.
She's going to surpass me in about 6 months. She'll be on her own.
All right, Miss Michelle, I just got 3 more questions for you. Going on to number 8. What goals do you hope to accomplish in your filmmaking career?
I just want to bring people together. Like, that's it. Bring people together in thought, in heart, in entertainment, in love. Somebody hates something I do, okay. If somebody loves it, okay. But ultimately, I crave unity.
Yes.
Across the board.
Yes. Absolutely. Can I get an amen on that? Amen. So love it. I love it. So going on to the number 9, and this might be a difficult question for you. If you could work with any actor or actress for a film, maybe a film that you mentioned earlier, who would you choose?
If I answer that question, I will have every client I've ever worked with throw something at my head.
Like, oh my God, how could you not mention me? Oh my God.
I would be injured, and Depending on the role, I mean, it's all character specific and role specific and all of those things. So, I mean, taking all of that into consideration, what I'm most blessed with as far as actors is concerned, I have an incredible roster of actors, and I have been very fortunate for 14 years that I've been coaching and teaching actors. I've been really fortunate to work with some of the most epically talented human beings, and not only just talented, but kind and loving and integrity filled people that I can possibly ever muster. And so I'm positive no matter who I book in any future role, they're going to be an exact perfect fit.
Love it. That is the best way to answer that question. So nobody can throw anything at you.
I do not have to duck now.
Yes, that was a very good, smooth way to answer that. Now you don't have to watch
Thank
it back.
you. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, all right, Michelle, going on to the last question for you. Like I said, you've had such an amazing career, with your award-winning pilot. You got that documentary going on. It's all of these things that you have. But I got to know, what's been some of the most rewarding moments of your career?
So ENMU in Portales is where I graduated college, and John Barr, who's now the chair of the, I think it's the chair of the theater department. I might be goofing the title, but I believe he's the chair now. Either case, he invited me out in right before the world shut down from this pandemic. I was able to be a guest of honor, special guest, something like that, to the Drama Fest at the university, and go and teach workshops to college kids and do all these things. And I love it. It was so amazing. And I got to watch a lot of high school theater productions, college theater productions. It was really incredible. And while I was there, I was like, hey man, so you're disassembling a lot of the black box theater. I just wish I could take a piece of wood from the black box theater, like, home with me. And he looked at me with this eyebrow raised, the way John Barr does. It is the best expression. And I thought, okay, he thinks I'm insane. So during the award ceremony that they had for all of these plays that went up during their drama festival, he called me up there. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm presenting something and I must have missed an email, whatever. And so I get up there and he hands me a plaque that has like a piece of the railing from where you hold on to the hand railing when you go downstairs, a piece of the hand railing from the Black Box Theater, which is very dear to me, is where I did Frankie and Johnny and did some of my scariest work as an actor in college, with this lovely writing on it in front of all of these people, all of these beautiful humans. And it was so exciting. And my mom is next to my daughter, and Hope is standing in one of the theater chairs, clapping and screaming at the top of her lungs, "Go, mommy, go, mommy, go, mommy." I got to tell you, that right there, I got a piece of the black box. I got a piece of my soul from the theater. And then my little mini me, like, witnessing that and being such a huge part of that entire experience was badass.
Oh, love
Any
it.
award I could possibly win after that, you'd like, okay, cool. But that one was spectacular.
I think that is amazing. There is no richer moment than that, honestly.
No, it doesn't exist.
Oh my goodness, how incredible is that? Honestly, that just gave me goosebumps. How awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, she's everything.
I definitely see her becoming a future filmmaker herself. I have no doubt. I feel like she's going to follow in her mommy's footsteps and continuing on
and beyond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Miss Michelle, I have to say, I have loved our conversation tonight. I appreciate you coming on here and telling my audience about your story, about your work. I am excited to definitely see more of what you do. Like I said, I'm super excited and happy that you're doing that documentary Edge, and I hope to one day get to be have the chance to be able to see it myself. But I do appreciate you giving me your time and just being awesome.
Thank you so much, Simone. This has been a real pleasure, and what an honor to be interviewed by you. Great questions.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And of course, I want to highly encourage my guests, my guests, my fans, my audience. Please, please, please make sure you guys follow and support Michelle. We definitely want to see more of her work. Definitely check her out. Check out her documentary if you guys can, Edge, and keep out more for her award-winning pilot. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of that. But just follow her because she's got an incredible, incredible career. And obviously, as you just heard, a cute and adorable 5-year-old. I'm just, yes. I had to
Thank
put that
you.
out there, and she's got a 5-year-old who's rooting her on. I mean, who wouldn't want to know more about you, Michelle? That's just awesome. Honestly, that's just awesome.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
no problem. Of course, you guys know I have been your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, bringing you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, I want to thank my audience. I want to thank my guest, Michelle Tomlinson. I just appreciate everyone for being awesome and listening. Of I will be back with another great episode soon. Till then, everyone, have a very safe evening, and I'll be back.